All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Um, let's see. Let's catch up on the chat. We got some movers today. We have NIO. We have NBEV. There's a few that I can't trade, but they're still moving, which is NVCN, NVLN. Notice NBRX, but it's come all the way back down already, so don't really trust it anymore. I think it may bounce at 150. TRVN is moving some. APTO gapping, AKRX is gapping, but it came back down a decent amount from its highs. Let's see. I think I mentioned NBEV. You can see it just made a nice little spike there, getting up to 635 where it's sitting now, gapping up from 573. We have EGY, no volume. VLRX is at 167 from 145. NIO obviously is gapping up a decent amount from 739 to 815. Had a really big spike. I'm pretty sure there was some type of catalyst that made this thing run right before the end of the day. So gonna look that up, see why that happened. We have CAG gapping up some from 35.57 to 36.53. So gapping up a little bit less than $1. So let me catch back up on the chat. Good morning, Addedly, Rel, Carl, Frio. Good morning, Maria. Good morning. Yeah, I'll check that trade out after the class or after the stream today, Maria. Yeah, give me a second. Once the stream's over, I'll look at that. And yeah, you can. Good morning, Masher, James, Amir, Seven, John, Daddy Trader, Joe. Good morning. Yeah, no stress. We get this. No worries, bro. FPay. The range is small, but I mean it's a dollar stock. I want to see more volume. Is probably the biggest thing. I think there needs to be more volume with this one. It hasn't really been moving too much every day. I mean, really, realistically, about 10-cent range every day, which is 10% of the stock, but it still needs more volume. Only thing I'm really looking at is to see if it holds over 1. Maybe have a little bit of resistance at 104, 105, see if it holds there. But $1 is the main one, just because that's probably the biggest mental support resistance area for $1.05 stock. Good morning, the best. Yeah, no worries, Maria, no worries. Alright, but yeah, watching IGC, NBEV today. NBEV had this big washout yesterday. Probably should have held. Sold it about right here. I mean, I took down this big move, but maybe I have to start using larger sizing to scale out a little bit better. But rebounding some in pre. And yeah, I mean, this is very common. You can see it. It's a little oversold once it gets down here. And so in pre-market, a lot of people are buying it because they think it's overextended on the downside. And so we'll see where it goes today. It's at 635. And so yeah, not too much right now. We got a few other ones that I'm watching. Let me see. So CAG is tradable. Yeah, going to be watching these. NIO. 3 main watches today, for me at least, that I like the most are NBEV, NIO, and CAG. I haven't really had the best results when I've traded NIO in the past. And so I got to be a little careful with it. Wait for a decent move here. We'll see. ST&G popping up on my scanners. I also do want to give a shout out to Trade Ideas. They were nice enough to start letting me stream their scans, and so really cool scanning software, really customizable and dynamic, lets you do a lot of really nice stuff. Create a scan for whatever your niche is in the market, and so go check out Trade Ideas. I'll post their link here, but shout out to them, like I said, for allowing me to use their scans on the stream. really been loving them. The gapping scans are useful, but I'm really enjoying the high of the day scanners, and the high of the day Momo scanners. I also have an overbought and oversold scanner to look for good shorts and longs, and so been using that one a decent amount as well. So shout out to Trade Ideas. There's the link if anybody's interested. I'm new to the channel. Do you guys focus on shorts? I mostly focus on shorts, yes. I mean, I trade long sometimes as well, but it's much more rare. I'm just more of a short biased trader. And so, yeah, I mostly trade shorts. My basic strategy is, just kind of my niche in the market is I look for overextended stocks, and I try to take advantage of them by looking for pullbacks to the VWAP, shorting it around the VWAP, setting a tight risk to reward, and riding it down to at least the previous low of the day is what I look for. It's kind of my strategy in a nutshell. What's up, Tiny? Good morning. But yeah, NBEV starting to spike up some more here. It's up to 647. Maybe get rejected at the 650 level. We'll see. Try to draw some support out here. A little bit at 490. You can mark 6. A little choppy though. 550. It's got some support here. Alright, so yeah, those are really the levels I'm watching for this one. Let's look a little bit higher. Let me remove some of these. Okay, so I already have some higher. That's good. Still have some stuff up from our class yesterday. Let me remove some of this stuff just so it's a little bit cleaner. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right, so like I said, looking at CAG as well. We got some support at 35, maybe a little bit at 35.05. I'm just going to leave it there, though. Also have some resistance here at 35.40, maybe 35.50. All right. What's up, Amir? Hey, appreciate the $2 super chat, brother. Appreciate it, man. No, it doesn't let you trade in pre-market or after hours, Jeff. Yeah, it's mostly a day trading broker, but yeah, it doesn't let me trade in pre-market or after hours. The only brokers that I know that allow you to do that with small accounts, like I know Webull does. Webull does allow you to trade in pre-market and after hours. You do have to follow the PDT rule on Webull. Do you think 8,000 to 12,000 a trade is possible? Do you mean profits per trade, Amir? What's up, Callum? Yeah, it all depends, man. But I appreciate the $2 donation, brother. It means a lot, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, so trying to figure out exactly what you mean. So do you mean making $8,000 to $12,000 profit per trade? Do you think that is possible? And if that is your question, it definitely is possible, but it really all depends on your strategy. It depends on your account size. It depends on a lot of different things. But, I mean, it is possible, What's up, Tiny? Oh, yeah, on Robinhood, you can trade... Yeah, I think, don't you have to have a margin account on Robinhood to get in pre-market and after hours, though? I was pretty sure you needed a margin for pre-market and after hours, but I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that's what you needed. But yeah, the thing I like about Webull is that you don't need a margin account to trade in pre-market or after hours. Using 8,000 to 12,000 per trade. Okay, so you mean in buying power? I mean, yeah, I mean, of course that's possible. You know, for instance, think about it like this: if I buy 1,000 shares of an $8 stock, that's $8,000. You know, per trade. If I buy 1,000 shares of an $8 stock, if I buy 1,000 shares of a $12 stock, that's $12,000 in buying power, and that's really not a huge amount in trading. You know, like for instance, I have 14,000 to trade with. I trade small just because I think it's important to you know, build up consistency, which I have, and so it's kind of time to scale up. But regardless of any of that, yeah, it's definitely possible. You know, I think most traders trade with at least that. You know, a lot of traders trade with 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares. You know, maybe even higher than that. For a lot of traders, and you know, it's definitely possible. You know, I think most traders do, in all honesty. I don't know. Seven knows more. So seven. So yeah. So seven. You have to have a margin account, correct, to trade on Robinhood. I know. I have a cash account as well. I don't think I can trade. It all depends. I think there's different like levels though. I think you can get a different level. But yeah, I was talking about it today. My TRVG option. I'm holding a put of TRVG with a strike price of $4.80, and so I'm hoping TRVG gets me into the green today on that put option that I'm holding. I still have 9 days left for it to drop 20 cents, and so I'm hoping it keeps dropping. I'm currently up, you know, at the current time, the option is still profitable, so I'm actually profiting from the option. I can put it up on the screen here. It's just a cheap option, but hey, it was like $20. But yeah, you can see here, holding a $5 put of TRVG. You know, I think I bought this option at $20 is what I paid for the option. And so actually I'm break even now, but I needed to drop a little bit more. 20 cents, we'll see if it can do that for me. I'm hoping it can. Oh, it's Weeble, James. Here, I'll spell it for you. It's Weeble. I don't think you can trade options. OC exec. CRMD was actually, you know, if you look at my Robinhood account, I'm up some in my Robinhood account, and most of it was from CRMD. For instance, let me see. Let me pull up my Robinhood account. Yeah, this is kind of like my weekly chart for Robinhood. And most of these gains were from CRMD. Like I made my biggest gain. I made like $30, $40 on this tiny account on CRMD. The last time I traded CRMD, I bought it at 75 cents and I sold it at like $1.10. And so I made like 35, $40 on it. And so that was the last time I saw CRMD. I kind of forgot about it. And it's still at 137. I sold a little bit too soon, but you know, when you make that was like a 15-20% gain on my account for CRMD, and so I just wanted to get out when I could. Yeah, no worries, Amir. Appreciate the $2 donation, brother. Let me see. Let me look back on CRMD. I'm trying to think of when I bought it. Let me look at my history on Robinhood. When I bought CRMD, it was moving a lot at the time that I bought it. So give me a second. Let me look up when I bought it. I sold it October 1st. I bought it the 24th. Yeah, I bought it at 75.84. I sold it at $1.20 is what I sold it, and then I held on to a little bit. Okay, so yeah, this is what I did with it. Like you can see here. It's gonna throw my name up there. Thanks, Robinhood. for throwing my name up there. Here, so I'll just explain it. So I bought CRMD 100 shares at $75.84 on September 24th. Let me go back in time here. Alright, so I bought it on this day. Let me see if it tells me the time. It doesn't tell me the time, but I bought it on this day. I think I bought it because it was holding support at this 68 cent level. You can see it has this support here. And so I think I bought it right before the close. After it held support there, and I set that area as my stop, like my stop loss. And then I just held it, and I let it continue to push, and eventually, I got lucky, and it started to spike up that next Friday, and gapped up a lot, and so I just kind of held it through. Sold it up here at $1.20. Sold some at like 97, just in case it got rejected at the whole $1, and then I held the rest up to $1.20 is what I did. So yeah, I mean, it was a good trade. I don't usually swing trade that often, but that's kind of how I do it. I just kind of give myself a really defined stop loss and just let it work. If it stops me out, it's fine. It's a tiny stop. And, aside from that, I try to let it run, take profits when I can, if that makes sense. Yeah, for sure, man. It does take time, 7. That's something that I went over yesterday in the class, is that, it's important to take things slow. You have to develop healthy trading habits and a healthy trading style and a profitable trading style first. If you jump right in trying to experiment with 1,000 shares, you're not going to have that time to develop and improve your trading habits, and I think that's important. Yeah, paper trading is really good for finding your niche, kind of targeting down what you're good at, practicing entries, exits, taking profits, and stuff like that. Risk. The only thing, if you do want to use real money, just so you can get the overall feel of using real money, just use small share size. It's very similar to paper trading, but it's real money, so it will kind of get you that feeling of holding real money positions. IGC. Yeah, IGC's pushing up. NBEV as well. There it was. Yeah, NBEV's pushing up too after that big drop yesterday. Yeah, I'm watching NBEV and IGC as well. Look, we got Mitch here in the chat. What's up, brother? Yeah, NVCN's probably my favorite one. It's not tradable for me, but look at this gap here. Up from 244. Setting some very obvious. You guys can see it found support here at 387, and it was also resistance at around 387, so that's a level I would watch. $4, obviously, the whole $1.04. This 430 level, it was acting as resistance here and support here, and then the highs. All right, so it's Wednesday. Got to be careful on Wednesdays. They historically haven't been my greatest days. But yeah, look at NIO here. Yeah, Amir, it all depends on your broker or whether you're going to get filled or not. It all depends on, it depends on your broker. It really depends on the liquidity of the stock. Like how much volume the stock has. Like if you have good volume on the stock and you have, say over 500, over 750,000 shares traded on that day, then, getting filled will be much easier than if the stock only has 200,000 shares traded on the day. Like, let me find an example of this. Like getting filled on NIO or NVCN would be much easier than getting filled on, say, VLRX. Just because the volume's tiny on VLRX, the spread's worse, SNY starting to pop up on my scanners. I need some more volume. I'm gonna watch AMRN again. This one had a really beautiful breakdown under this previous support here on AMRN. If you see this support, it tested it 3 times and then just tanked here. Yeah, it's not tradable. Neither is NVLN. The main ones that are tradable for me. The main ones that are tradable for me are NIO, NBEV, IGC. Those are probably the 3 biggest ones that I'm watching. 500 shares on TradeNet. Let me look. I think realistically 500 shares is going to cost you $3.75 per trade or $7.50 for a round trip. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, my wife had to ask me a question. But yeah, realistically, it's going to be $7.50 for a round trip for 500 shares. No, I think that's wrong, actually. Let me look. I know I thought it was 0.006 cents per share. So 500. Yeah, it'd be about $7.50. But I'm not 100% sure, Callum, but I'm pretty sure it'd be right around $7.50 for the round trip. Good morning, Felix. Frio, MNGA. Yeah, I'm watching it kind of at this 42-cent level. You can see it had a lot of support and resistance there. So I'm seeing if it gets rejected there. If it does break that, you know, it also had some resistance at 48. So kind of watching that. But looking at the daily chart, I mean, looking at the daily chart, it has major support at 30, but also curious to see how it handles the $0.50 here. And so yeah, I mean, this is kind of outside of my trading style. I really don't like trading stocks this cheap, but it doesn't look too bad. Some of these ETFs are moving, like TVIX, UVXY. Can IGC get up to what's up, Cole? Yeah, what's up, bro? Can IGC go up to the 627 level? I mean, of course it could. Will it? I don't know. Let me see. 627, which is here. I mean, of course it could. I don't know when. I mean, it's possible. It would have to break over 6. If it can get over 6, you know, I could see it getting up there, but it's all about whether it breaks the whole $1.06 at this point, I think. That's kind of the battle area. If it breaks 6, it's probably going to get there, but who knows? You never know in trading. All you can do is try to mark out the different levels and watch those levels. Yeah, I use that app 7. I've used Acorn before. I think I'm too impatient, which kind of shows me I wouldn't be patient enough to hold stocks longer term. Every time I would, you know, the only way Acorns is worth it in my opinion, the Acorn app, is if you let it work. You know, you have to let it hold for like long term, you know, like 6 months or more, I think, for it to be worth it. I think if not, like what I would do is I would let it build up for like a month, build up like a few $100s, and then I would just withdraw it and start over. And it was kind of useless. I could have just saved it myself or just kept it. So I think if you're gonna use one of those apps, another thing to look out for is when it's time to do taxes. I think taxes are going to be kind of tough to do if, especially with an app like that that's taking, cents off of every dollar you spend. It would just be tough to do taxes on that app. But OHGI Netron. Yeah, this one looks interesting as well. It's starting to push up some. Like I said, it's kind of outside of my niche, and so I don't really do as well with these stocks, but we'll see. I'm watching it. I mean, it's at 660. Let's look at the daily on NBEV. Yesterday, you could see this massive hammer. It just got hammered back down, filled this gap right here. We'll see. I mean, it's gapping up now. What's it at now? It's at 660, so it's up. Almost rebounded some from yesterday. Gonna watch it around 7. What's happening at 10K subscribers? I'm gonna throw a party, man. I'm gonna throw a party. Yeah, man. The channel's growing quick though. Cool. It's been growing fast, man. TIK. Oh, I didn't even see TIK. It needs more volume. The volume's a little low, but I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's gapping up a lot. It's gapping up. I definitely think it's maybe overextended. Doubt it's tradable. Let me look. No, it's not, unfortunately. Everybody send out good vibes that TRVG is going to go down. I want it to get me in the profits. I got 9 days left of that option. We'll see if it works out. What's up, Mihail? What's up, trading? Appreciate it. What's up, Manny? What's up, brother? Haven't seen you in a while, bro. PLG needs more volume, I think. At least for me. Volume would have to pick up some. Right now it's kind of tough to tell what it's going to do. There's no volume, so not much follow through, I don't think. Also looking at AKRX. Let me look up the news here. It's time to... I forgot to do the news today. AKRX has a lot of support here. Very obvious support at 680. And maybe even a little bit of a triangle forming here. You see that? So kind of watching those levels, see what it does here for AKRX. Watching it on my other screen though. Yeah, Frio. Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough for me to really look at some of these cheaper stocks. I mean, I think the cheaper stocks, especially for a short bias trader like me, we were talking about HMNY yesterday. Oh man, HMNY is worse than I thought it was. This thing's at less than a cent or less than 2 cents. Crazy. Watching AMRN too. Keeping an eye on CAG. I mean, it all depends on what you're looking for, Callum. I think SureTrader definitely has more options uh, with regard to how many stocks you can trade. I think there's definitely more tradable stocks on SureTrader. At least from what it was a year or two ago when I used SureTrader, there was much more tradable stocks. I think overall, I think TradeNet and TEFs is a cheaper option. Commissions are cheaper, platform is cheaper. Fills are probably a little bit better, but SureTrader had decent fills as well. I can't really say anything bad about SureTrader's fills. I thought they were decent too. Platform, I like SureTrader's platform a little bit more. And so less restriction on, certain things with TradeNet and TEFs, I think. But yeah, it all depends on what you're looking for. All right, so let's look up the news. First one I'm going to look up is NVCN, just because that's probably the biggest mover today. I think, it's forming a obvious channel here at this point. You can see the channel forming here with NVCN. And so very obvious support at 387. This is the one I'm going to look up now. Let's see what's going on with it. So it sounds like NVCN is up because, right, the FDA approved a new medical device. Hold on one second. Yeah, so the FDA granted breakthrough device designation to its reducer device, which is a retractatory angina. It's a British Columbia-based company. And so, yeah, FDA approval for their device. That's what's going on with it. Let's see, moving on to NVLN. I guess I can look that one up as well. It's gapping up some as well. So this one dropped 20% yesterday, and so I guess NVLN is just rebounding some today. Moving on to NIO, which is the top chart. All right, so Bailey Gifford, which is a Tesla investor, took a 11.4% stake in NIO, and that's why it's up, is because the Tesla investor Bailey Gifford took an 11.4% stake in the company, and that's causing some hype behind NIO. Another one I'm looking at is IGC and NBEV. These are both in the same sector. I think this is just up one. I think they had a quote that came out for somebody hyping the cannabis sector, and I think that's making IGC and NBEV move up. Also looking at AKRX here, AKRX gapping up from 646 to 684. All right, so AKRX is up. The FDA cleared bimatoprost eye solution. So basically, the FDA cleared one of their products. They approved its abbreviated new drug application for hypotrichosis of the eyelashes and ophthalmic solution. It's an ophthalmic solution for hypotrichosis of eyelashes. I think I actually pronounced that right. I'm proud of myself. Next one I'm looking up is CAG. CAG gapping up in 35.57 to 36.54. All right, so CAG said late yesterday that it priced a public offering of 16.3 million common shares at $35.25. It's almost a 0.1% discount to the stock's closing price on yesterday, so that's why CAG is up, as they announced the roughly 16 million offering of common stock. So that's it. We'll see what we can have today. Market opens up in about 4 minutes. I'm going to be watching a few here. Right now, I'm watching this 825 level. It acted as some resistance in pre-market, Abby. Also watching the whole dollar of 8. It's had some support there as well. Maybe this 815 level as well. So watching those three. If it gets as low as 750, especially if it breaks under 750, it looks interesting, but we'll give it that time to tell. Somebody asked what the commissions were on trade on it's not TradeNet, it's actually TEFs, Marty, and commissions are 0.006 cents per share. There's a 150 per trade minimum, and so basically if I'm using less than 250 shares, commissions are roughly $3 a round trip. I think there are some routing fees, so I think it's like roughly $3.30 a round trip if I'm using less than 250 shares. Anything over that, from what Live Gain said, that it's more close to 0.0075 cents per share. And so if I pull that up, if I'm using 500 shares, commissions are $3.75 per trade, and so for a full round trip in and out, it would be $7.50. So still ridiculously cheap. Good morning, Matthew. Also, if anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, they do have a sale going on. I thought it ended last month, but I guess not. But the sale is for 20% off the intro package. I try to be as honest as I can with people about TradeNet. The biggest flaw with TEFs is that a lot of stocks are not tradable, specifically cheaper stocks, and so you do want to understand that. We do make a small commission if you go through our link, and so we appreciate it, and it's a good way to help support the channel. But like I said, I try to be honest as I can with people. Biggest flaw, the biggest frustration for me is that some stocks are not tradable. If you watch our streams, usually we find a way to get around that, but it is something to consider, and you can always reach out to them through that link as well if you need help with it. We got AKRX dropping through here. Good morning, Eric, Raphael, Guided, T America, Cole. What's up, man? Matthew. TRVN. Let's look at that. Higher float stock. You can tell it's a higher float stock. Usually when you see these little white candles here, it's usually a higher float stock. Got a lot of support at $1, obviously. You can see a lot of support there. Some resistance at 150. And so watching it around those levels. We got less than a minute. Let me pull up the intraday scans and get ready here. All right, we got about 7 seconds, guys, so let's look at some stuff. We got YGYI as well. Oof, that was way too loud in my ears. But there's the bell. We got NIO dropping big here. It's underneath the VWAP now. I'm going to see if it gets rejected there. We got IGC dropping down as well. It's at 570. We got CAG dropping down some as well. Spiking up on NIO. So NIO just Broke over this 825 resistance. We'll see if it keeps going here. Kind of watching it around this 850 level now. See if it gets up there. If it does get up there, it may get rejected around 845, 850. We got IGC dropping some. Yeah, NVCN popping up here. NVCN washing out under the VWAP area. When I use SureTrader, Callum, SureTrader, at least when I used it, all I can really say is when I used it a year or two ago, but when I used SureTrader, it was like, you know, they say it's $4.95 per trade, but there's a lot of other fees that are going on there. So it was realistically, depending on my sizing, it was really around $13, $14 for a round trip on SureTrader, at least when I used it. Plus the platform was $150. And so, you know, $150 a month for the platform. It was a little expensive for me. But I love the platform, love the DOS platform, and I think it's kind of a necessary evil for some traders. Looking at IGC here, big drop under the VWAP. Gonna look for a pullback there maybe. The only problem with the pullback here is I don't know how well the risk to reward would be. I'd have to set my risk at 575. Reward maybe down to 565, so it'd be about 1 to 1. AMRN dropping, also looking at CAG. And look at this drop on NIO, man, crazy drop. And that's why I think bigger drops with the VWAP fade are important, because they are ultimately going to typically have better risk to reward if you set your reward at the low of the day. AMRN dropping. Looking at CAG here and NIO. Now, if NIO gets up here, I don't mind shorting it. If it gets up to 810, set a risk at around 820. Potential reward at least down to, let me look up a little bit. 790. But some big drops in the market right now, honestly. So I'm watching NIO. Like I said, if it gets up to 810, I could comfortably set my risk at 820, maybe 825. Set my potential reward down here at 790, 788. Also kind of looking at NBEV, although I don't know if the risk to reward would really be there. I guess I could set my risk at 950 if NBEV gets up to 642, where the VWAP is. Look at that fade off the VWAP really, really quick, though, on IGC. Popped up to 65, went right back down. Risk could be 570 for this trade. Yeah, 570 would have been reasonable. It just happened too quick, but beautiful fade there for IGC. Even if it reverses all the way back, that was still a quick 15, 20 cents. Also looking at AMRN here. NIO fading back down some. It just didn't quite get up there. But looking at AMRN. Just waiting for some pullbacks here on some of these. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my phone. I left my phone in the other room. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, look at this fade on IGC. I'm kind of upset. I mean, it just happened so quick. It was tough to get into, but look at this beautiful fade with a risk of 570. You get in at 563, giving yourself a tiny risk if you can hit it at this high, which is very tough to do, but it's faded really nicely off of there. Some stocks aren't tradable, JP. It depends on your broker. But I know with TEFs, a lot of stocks aren't tradable. That's the biggest flaw. All right, so here goes NIO spiking up to this 804 level. It just got up to 810. I might consider taking a small size here. Got to be careful, though. Setting an 820 level is my risk, maybe 825. Potential reward down at 780s if it can get that low. But it's got to spike up there a little bit more. Going to give it a little bit of time here. Big spike back. All right, so I'm in with 100 shares on NIO. Risk is at 820. If it gets up there, I'm just going to jump out. Down to 801. Nice. See if it gets rejected at 8. Gonna take half off here for 7. Just gonna hold the rest, let it work, see if it can get lower. All right, I'm out there. No, I'm not out there. Try to get out there. All right, I'm out. Man, that's frustrating. I tried to get out. I tried to get out at 793, and for some reason it didn't fill me. So tiny gain as opposed to what could have been a much larger gain, which is frustrating. But tried to get out before the spike. I could see the spike coming. Possibly could have added there, but I'm just gonna move on. NIO is tradable for me. Let me see. I could show you my manager. Yeah, NIO is tradable, at least for me. Maybe contact TEFs. I'm not sure. I know it's tradable for me. It's been tradable since it IPO'd. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. It faded off the VWAP nice. I might have jumped out too soon, but I didn't want it to get squeezed up here. Frustrating, though, because I really tried to get out at 95. It would have been like a $12, $13 gain. But it was just a scalp. A really nice fade off the VWAP, though. You can see how powerful the VWAP fade strategy is. And for everybody that was in our class yesterday, if you want to see why I got into this trade, 820, you could see this area here, very obvious risk level. Now I'm kicking myself for jumping out too early. But regardless, if you want to see why I jumped into this trade, 820 is my risk level, giving me, if I jump in at 810, a 10-cent risk. Reward can be all the way down here at 780. So 10-cent risk for a, let's see, 8, 10, 40 cent reward. So 1 to 4 risk to reward on this one. But yeah, now I'm kicking myself because it ended up dropping much more, but a gain's a gain. I was also looking at AMRN. Oh, that hurts. Look at this fade though on NIO. Beautiful fade. Look at this. And this really hurts more than a losing trade, is missing this big move. I held it well to my levels for the most part, but man. Yeah, it's a little bit too late. I'm not going to chase it now, John. But man, look at that beautiful move. Called it out on the nose though, you know. Bullish. Let's look up on the high of the day scanner. So bullish. I'm seeing a lot of stuff washing out today. ASTC spiking up. VTVT. Spiking up. VTVT. I'm kind of looking at AMRN. The reason I'm looking at AMRN right now is because risk level 1722, reward level would be down here at 1690 at least, and so I'm looking at AMRN now. It's a little bit too high above the VWAP at this point though. Nah, cool. I got out too early, man. Biggest flaw in my trading. And I recognize the holes in my game. And the biggest hole in my game is that I get out too early. As soon as I see significant profit, I jump out. You know, Mitch and I both have good strengths and weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is I get out way too early. My strengths are backtesting and analyzing risk to reward and identifying the good setups. Mitch's strengths are managing the trade and staying a little bit more calm than I do. Yeah, look at AMRN. That's why I said it spiked up a little bit too quick there. But no, so I'm confused though. Who was talking about how... Yeah, for sure, cool. I mean, here's the thing. I tried to get out. I would have been up 15, 20 bucks, but 100%. Got out too early. And it happens, you know. But that's the biggest hole in my game. That's what, you know, I think it's important to review your trades. And when I review my trades and Mitch and I go over my trades, the biggest hole in my game is just jumping out too early. I think my personality is more of a scalper. And so once I scale up, I think it'll work out a little bit better for me. Just because I think my personality more strays towards scalping stocks, whereas Mitch is more of a longer term holder. Mitch will hold his stocks for like an hour and kind of squeeze every profit he can out of it. Where it's like I usually, you know, I'm pretty accurate, but I usually jump out quick and scalp the trade. And so that's really what you'll see me do a lot of the times. And it's just about finding your niche in the market, finding what you're good at, finding what your personality kind of goes more towards. And so but yeah, no, who was saying they were having trouble trading NIO? JPGZ. Does anybody else on TEFs? If anybody else is using TEFs, check to see if NIO is tradable on your screen, on your TEFs. It should be. I know it's tradable on mine. And so, yeah, let us know if anybody else on TEFs is having trouble trading NIO, because I know it's tradable for me. Okay, Jeff, yours is tradable. Yours is Ali Francisco. Yours is Mihail. Okay, so yeah, so it's not just me. I'm not sure why that's going on with you, man. Reach out to TEFs, T America. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, it's tradable for everybody. Yeah, reach out to Tefs, man. That's the only thing I can really think of. I'm not sure. But yeah, today's definitely a short day, guys. And you guys gotta understand that Wednesdays are kind of like my kryptonite. You know what I mean? Wednesdays, I never do well on Wednesdays. I usually have losing trades on Wednesdays, and so on Wednesdays, especially Wednesdays, I'm usually scalping those trades. You know, I'm usually getting in as quick as possible. Of course, I regret jumping out early on this one, but I don't necessarily regret being extremely careful on Wednesdays, just because Wednesdays are tough, and you got to understand yourself as a trader too. NBEV is kind of fading off the VWAP a little bit here. They might have already done it a few times. Look at all these fades on NBEV as well here. Not quite there, but this is probably the best fade. Yeah, try restarting the application. Masher, it's tradable for you too. Okay, yeah, try restarting Tefs. That might be it. But yeah, look at that beautiful fade on NBEV as well. Look at that beautiful fade at 635. You could set your risk, realistically, you could set your risk at 645. So I don't know if it was a good risk reward trade. Let me look at it really quick. 645 risk, you get in at 635, 10 cents, 635 down to 613. Yeah, so it was good risk to reward. Even if you give yourself 615, would give you 2 to 1 if you set your profit target here. And so just for everybody that was in the class yesterday, if you get in, this is just another on the fly. If you look at NBEV with this fade here, if you get in here, your risk is here and your reward is here. And so that gives you, this is your risk, that is your reward. So almost a little bit better than 2 to 1. Nice, Darren. Hey, nice work, brother. I'm also kind of looking at ITUB here. ITUB. But I got a plan. I have to start sticking to my profit and loss targets. And with NIO, this was the huge thing I did wrong here. And this is what I was talking about in yesterday's class, is that I understand my faults and what I do wrong. Biggest thing is I don't hold to my levels. If I would just hold it to my levels, I would be hugely up on the week. And so I got to do something to get around that. I'm thinking maybe for every time I don't hold a stock to my predetermined levels, I send everybody in our class $1. And so it'll essentially force me to hold it to my levels. And it'll be a fun little game for us. But I think I'm going to do that. Nice, Darren. Yeah, AMRN looked pretty, man. At least this first move. This second move, I don't know if the risk to reward was there. But this thing just tanked at the open. Curious to see where it goes now. It bounced off the VWAP here. Brogen. Yeah, if anybody caught our look at that. It might be fading off of $1 here too. Yeah, 100% Adelie. That's what I mean. I think I'm more of a scalping trader, and I think my accuracy is definitely sufficient enough to be a scalper. I think the biggest thing is that if I'm gonna scalp, like you said, I got to use bigger sizing. And it's a process. Yeah, that's the big thing, man. Like I said, I was either thinking of giving everybody in our class $1, or I have to have some consequence if I don't hold it to my levels. I've got to condition myself to do it. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, like I said, Mitch and I, the good thing about Mitch and I is that Mitch and I are two different traders. We both have our strengths and weaknesses. And, like I said, my strengths are I do really well with identifying good risk reward, identifying profitable setups, specifically back testing setups and analyzing risk to reward. Mitch does really well with managing his trades. And so, we kind of stay on each other's back about what we need to fix and tweak with our own trading style. And I just need to condition myself to do it a little bit better. Is the economy about to crash? I mean, the really only real way to see, these are all, realistically, Tesla, these are all cheaper stocks. A lot of these are terrible companies, and so it doesn't matter. What you really want to look at is the overall SPY. And the SPY's down on the day, but that's not uncommon. I wouldn't say, no. The SPY's down some in the last week, but the SPY's still up a huge amount. What? Thinkorswim is out of memory. We recommend to increase memory limit. Okay. It's going to make me restart Thinkorswim. Hey, appreciate it, Tesla. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, man. Listen. We have classes every night, but the big thing people need to understand is that we really aren't trying to act like experts, but Mitch and I have very, we have very obvious strengths. And, like I said, my strengths are data and, back testing setups. My strengths are data and back testing setups, analyzing good risk to reward. That's what I do really, really well. And that's what, we try to teach people, our strengths. Mitch does really well with managing his trade. Mitch does really well with staying calm, managing his trade, and, moving forward. And so combined, Mitch and I, we have a lot of good info, but, you always got to work on evolving your trading. And I have to be able to recognize stuff I'm doing wrong. And of course, I'm profitable on the day. It's better than a losing day. I haven't had a losing day this week. And so, I've gone 3 out of 3 this week, 1 break even, 2 profitable days. But I still have to be able to identify what I'm doing wrong to be able to maximize my profits. Like I said, I think my personality is more fitted more towards a scalping personality. You know what I mean? And with that, I have to be able to use bigger sizing and take bigger positions to make those scalps. But at the same time, I don't necessarily want to be a scalper forever. I want to be able to evolve my trading to a different style so I can maximize profits a little bit more. And so it's all just about, improving yourself, improving your trading. You got to be able to, I think one thing a lot of new traders do wrong is that they're extremely cocky with, what they view. A lot of traders, they want to be good traders before they're really ready. And it takes time, man. It takes a lot of time. You got to be able to humble yourself in the market and recognize what you're doing wrong every day, And once you start to tweak that and work on that, it's just about conditioning yourself to do the right moves. But yeah, look at OGEN. Kind of looking at NIO on the daily chart. And regardless of what anybody wants to say about me, like I said, I haven't had a losing day this week. And so, been trading every day, haven't had a losing day. And so I'm getting there. I just need to focus on, really, I don't think I've had a losing trade this week, but I'm getting there. Like I said, I got to give myself some type of rule. It's either going to be, I would say, Mitch says I should run 3 miles every time I don't stick to my levels, but I wouldn't have any accountability towards that. I wouldn't have to do it if I didn't want to. I think having some type of accountability if I don't follow my levels is the important thing. So maybe like I said, maybe send everybody in our class $1 if I don't follow my rules. Would be fun. And it would make me follow them. So look at NIO, back up to the VWAP. At this point, you could set your risk at 810. And so at this point, your risk is about 17, 18 cents. Potential reward, realistically, at 770, maybe 775. So better than 1-to-1, but I don't like it as much as this initial move right here. Hey, Kenneth, I love that though, man. Yeah, today Mitch is going to take the lead tonight in our trading psychology class. But yeah, look at NIO. I'm curious if it fades here. I mean, realistically, if you got in here at like just under 8, you could set your risk at 8.10, giving yourself a 10-cent risk, and your potential reward would be much bigger at this point. We'll see. Only thing is, it continued to put in higher lows down here. But yeah, the SPY's getting hit pretty hard, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. NIO, it looks like a fade, and the risk to reward, like I said, if you set your risk here at 8.10 or 8.12, you got about a 10-15 cent risk. Potential reward would at least be down here, maybe down to 770 here. And so your risk would be this, and your reward would be, oh wait, no, that's not wrong, let me see. And your reward would be this. And so your risk is much smaller than your reward. And so it still looks like a good trade. Like I said, I don't like it as much now, but we'll see. Coal, I mean, I don't think mine is freezing, brother, but I know it made me restart because of memory problems. And there's the drop on NIO. Like I said, good risk to reward there. We'll see if it keeps dropping though, if it spikes back up. Also looking at IGC here. Yeah, but the SPY's tanking. But, I mean, if you look at the previous few days, it's not really outside of the norm. You know, the big level to watch is this level here if it hasn't crossed under that. I know it has crossed under that. Let me see. So it's at 784 now. Let's bring up a 5-minute of the SPY. Yeah, I mean, the SPY's at the lows of the last week. I really wouldn't get worried until it gets under 280 down here. If it breaks under 280 where it had all this resistance, that's something I would look out for on the SPY. Mostly, Nate. Mostly I'm shorter. I'm a short bias trader. But I have a few long setups I'm currently back testing. Trying to finish it. I haven't had much time with the classes and everything going on, but the current long setup that I use is the VWAP bounce, and so it's basically the opposite of a VWAP fade. And so let me see if I can find a good example of a VWAP bounce today. Everything's kind of fading though. It's definitely a short day. ASTC, I think somebody mentioned. No, this thing tanked. Yeah, so there goes NIO spiking to that $8.10 level. And so it never really broke it. But you can see, remember what I set my risk at was $8.10. Where did this thing go? Right up to that $8.10 level. And so that's how you recognize those levels, where it's going to get rejected, where it's going to bounce. Next thing to watch is if it bounces off of $8 here for the whole dollar bounce. We'll see. Right here. And so now it's about whether it's going to hold support over 8 and break 8.10, which it went up to previously, or if it's going to crack down under 8. Yeah, no worries. No worries trading. No worries, brother. All right, so there goes the $8 crack. It broke under $8. And like I said, look, I can fairly accurately predict where it's going to get rejected, which is why I said before that this $8.10 level is going to be my risk point. If it breaks 8.10, I get out. And it tested it, but it never actually broke it. And, I said that when it was right here. And so where did it go exactly? 8.10. And then it gets rejected back down under the whole dollar of 8. And so I hope everybody in our class yesterday is able to kind of recognize, how to determine those risk levels. Why was this the risk level? Is because if you look back here, it acted as major resistance and major support here on $8.10. And so where does it go? It goes right back up to the 8.10 level and gets rejected right back down. It held that area as resistance. Yeah, there's back to 885, 81s. There's the rejection. Kind of faked people out, but if you set your 810 level as your risk, you wouldn't have gotten faked out there. But beautiful little fade coming back down on NIO. And again, this is why it's important to set those risk levels before you get into the trade. If you set this level as your risk, you understand that if it breaks this, you can get out comfortably. But if it still holds under this level, you're comfortable in the trade. All right, so John, okay, so let me pull up, let me remove some of this stuff. Okay, so if you look at this, John, the setup that I use, it all depends on your strategy. Where you're going to enter the stock, where you're going to jump in, where your entry is going to be. It all depends on what kind of strategy you're using, what pattern you're looking for. With the VWAP fade, I like to enter it right around the VWAP area. So I like to enter it right around here. Anywhere around here is fine. But you also have to understand when you jump into the trade that this previous resistance here is going to be your resistance here. Okay, and so if it breaks this level, you can comfortably exit out of the trade. It's a very obvious risk level. And so you can give yourself, what is this, 10 to 12 cent risk. If you get in at if you get in $8 or a little bit under at $7.98, your risk is 12 cents. Your reward would be back down at the next support or resistance level. In this case, I could draw it, right here at 770. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can draw it at 780 here. Regardless, if you go from $8 to 780, that's 20 cents. If you go from $8 to 770, that is 30 cents. And so regardless of any of this, your risk is only 10 to 12 cents. And so it's about a 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 if you set your risk at 771. So I hope that makes sense on how to analyze the risk and reward for those. That's really what you want to do with every trade. You want to get good at identifying it quickly, because with day trading, speed matters. You're going to miss moves if it takes you too long. And so you have to be able to just look quickly at the chart. Okay, it was rejected here. This area could be my risk at 810. You're going to get in here. Where's my reward level? 770, maybe 780. That's my reward level. I can hold it to that. If my risk is 10 cents, my reward is 20 or 30 cents. It's good risk to reward. You know, that's how you do it. Nice, John. Okay, good, brother. That's why it's risk to reward is a really tough thing to kind of grasp at first, but once you understand it, you understand it. And like I said, the important thing is conditioning your mind to be able to calculate it really quickly. You know what I mean? You want to be able to calculate it extremely quickly looking at the intraday and the daily chart, and that way you won't miss opportunities. You know, if you can calculate it quickly, you can see it fast, make your decision, and boom, you know, get it done. You know, and so the important thing is to learn how to do it quickly. And, you know, you just look at the historical chart. You look at the history of the chart. What's up, insurance? But yeah, I think yesterday's class was one of the most important, just to understand. Risk to reward is huge. It's one of the most important things in trading. If you can, you know, like we were saying yesterday, if you can, risk to reward is fairly subjective. Other people are going to set their levels at different places than you are. You want to try to, you know, get the most, you want to get as close to other people's levels as possible. And so you want to see what other people are looking at. But if you set yourself a 2-to-1 risk to reward in your trades, regardless of whether it's different than other people's, and you stick to that plan, even if you're only right half the time, you're still going to be really profitable in the long run. You know, you just got to stick to those levels, which is something I did wrong today, you know. Nice, John Russell. Nice work, brother. Hey, Thomas Murphy, appreciate the $5 super chat, brother. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support, bro. But yeah, that's nice, man. Nice work, John. PBR, Mihail. Yeah, this is you know, this one is approaching the VWAP. It's kind of the third test though. You can see one. Really, you can see one here, and one here. And so it's kind of the third VWAP test. I don't trust it as much. You know, the good thing about it is that your risk level can be at this 1552 area. So you got about a 7-cent risk, and your reward can be down here at 1530. So about a 15-cent reward. And so it's about 2-to-1 if you stick to those levels. Again, risk, reward. Your reward is bigger than your risk. Do you ever trade the big stocks? Chaser, yeah, I mean, I trade, really my kind of niche in trading is I trade stocks in between, you know, $2, $2, $3, all the way up to $30 is really kind of my sweet spot with the price of stocks. I have traded stocks more expensive, and sometimes I do. It all just depends on if I identify the setup. The big thing, though, is that I want the stock to be overextended a decent amount. NVCN's pulling back to the VWAP as I'm kind of saying that. But I want to look for overextension, and a lot of times the bigger stocks are not as extended as these cheaper, terrible company stocks, you know? NVCN, yeah, NVCN's pulling back to the VWAP. Alright, so if I was going to get an NVCN, I would try to get it in around here. Like I always say, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable for any losses you take. You always have to make your own assessment of the market, trade responsibly. I don't give investment advice for profit. This is just all my opinion and you know, what I kind of see when I look at these trades. So if I was looking for a short on NVCN, I would prefer it to be up here at the 370s. If you get in there, you could set your risk at 392. And so let's see, 775 to 92. It'd be about 17-cent risk. Potential reward would be down at these levels down here, depending on where you want to set it. And so, yeah, it would definitely be good risk to reward. If it depends on where you want to set your reward, though. If you want to be a little bit more conservative with it, you could set your reward here at 350, giving you, about 2 to 1, maybe a little bit better than 2 to 1. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it's not tradable. Yeah, somebody just asked me to go over it, and so that's kind of what I want to see with this one. Another level to watch is this 350 level. So realistically, I think that would probably be the most ideal profit target. And so from 75 to 350 is about 25 cents. If you're risking 17 cents, a little bit worse than 2 to 1, but it's still positive reward to risk ratio. DNR. DNR just got hit hard. I mean, when I look at the chart on DNR, I think it's a little oversold. So I think it maybe rebound some, but it's tough to tell. It's a higher float stock just by looking at the level 2. And so it's a higher float stock, smaller range. And so who knows? Got to look at the daily as well. Yeah, I think it's dropping. I mean, because it was a little extended on the daily. You see this thing is up over 600% this year. And so, kind of a big move. It all just depends. A little bit higher float stock when I see it. But on the intraday chart, it may be a little extended on the downside. It may rebound some, but who knows? IGC. But yeah, if anybody wants to check out the strategies that we use for both long and short, you can go check out our website. The strategy section is 100% free, and so you can go check it out. But you can see here, you can go to the strategy section, and you can just go to, I'm mostly a short bias trader, and so I usually go to shorts. And I can see all the setups and strategies that I trade. It kind of shows the VWAP fade, breaks it down with a video, shows you little graphs to kind of show you what we think in this trade. Step 1, step 2, step 3 has different steps, analyzing extension, executing the trade well. Goes over the VWAP rejection in some depth as well. Plus, we also have a long section. Long section doesn't have that much content just because I'm mostly a short bias trader. Both Mitch and I are. But it does have some good info and graphs on the long section as well. Plus, we have a broker review section kind of reviewing the different brokers that we've used. These are all specifically no PDT brokers. So they're brokers that allow you to trade, day trade with less than 25K. I do need to add some more. I was planning on adding some this weekend, but I had some stuff come up this weekend. And so I'll try to add, I'll probably try to add Webull, Robinhood, and maybe one more this weekend for this. But again, if anybody's interested in joining our classes, Mitch and I's goal with this is just to give people a cheap option to learn for new traders to kind of expedite the learning process. For $40 a month, it's 20 group sessions. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's roughly $2 per class. And I think the signups we've had thus far are appreciating the classes that we're doing. Not trying to act like experts at all, just trying to expedite traders' learning process. And if you look at Mitch and I's trades and our accuracy rate, I definitely think we're there. We can do that. And like I said, Mitch and I have different strengths and weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is not following to my levels. I have a really high accuracy rate. Like if you think about it, I haven't had a losing trade this week. But one of my weaknesses is scalping a little bit too much and not holding it to my levels. I have decent strengths. My strengths are back testing, analyzing risk to reward and data. And I think I do that really well with identifying profitable setups. Mitch does really well with managing his trades. He's been doing extremely well managing his trades. I think he's on a 8-day win streak. And so he hasn't lost at the end of the day, he hasn't had a losing day in 8 days. And so all documented and traded live on stream, so we can't hide anything. You guys can see everything. And so we just try to be as transparent as possible with stuff and, help people learn. And so, yeah, if you're interested in checking that out, I can go ahead and post the link. I purchased a put on ZNGA. Hope a good drop. All right. Anytime we get a hater, I'm just going to hide them. There you go, brother. Like we said, Zeus, if you could still hear me, man, we're not trying to act like experts. If you look at our graphs, though, we're profitable traders, regardless of what sizing or anything like that we use. And so you can hate, that's fine. But yeah, IGC didn't quite get to that VWAP area. I was looking at 540 for it. But it never quite got there. But a decent little fade. You could set your risk at 550 for that one. Yeah, go check it out, John. Here, I could post the link here, brother. Yeah, there's our site, John, if you're interested in checking it out. But yeah, I mean, regardless of how much money I make, one thing I went over yesterday, like I could show you guys my graph. I got to update it a little bit more. But if you look at my graph, you can see that we're profitable traders and that we're not hiding anything. Let me look for it. My computer's running a little slow. Maybe that's why Thinkorswim wasn't working, is that my computer's running. There it is. So you can see our graph and see that we're profitable traders. We're not hiding anything. The difference between Mitch and I and everybody else is that we're actually putting our trades out there live on stream for free. And we're letting people watch the journey that we go through. And so, you know, if you're not interested in it, you know, you don't have to sign up. We're streaming live for free on YouTube regardless. You know, we're giving everybody a lot of stuff for free regardless. And so if you're not interested, you know, don't sign up, but don't hate on us. You know, anytime you hate on us, I'm just gonna ban you. PBR. Yeah, see, look, exactly what I said, you know. But no, yeah, we're terrible traders, but you know, I could predict this move on the nose and call it out. But yeah, we're bad traders, guys. You know, we don't know what we're talking about. Ugh. Yeah, no worries, Mihail. Hey, I'm glad you took advantage of it, brother. Yeah, really obvious area, though. Like I said, you set your risk here at 52. It's good risk to reward, you know. And it almost went down to the reward target. It really got just about there here. Almost touched it. But regardless, I mean, you want to take profits before that anyway. But yeah, no worries, Abby. What happened with NIO, Abby? What happened? We can talk about it if you want to. Or we can talk about it later after the stream. I don't want to give you the answer on whether you should or not. I don't want to give you the answer on whether you should or not, crypto. Which stock are you looking at? Yeah, I mean, people can say whatever they want about Mitch and I. They can't say we're bad traders, you know? Like, most traders are 50% winners. They win 50% of the time. You know, that's about the average for most traders, you know, is they win 50% of the time. Sometimes they force it and win less than that. And so, I mean, if you look at Mitch, we've been doing this live on stream. Mitch hasn't had a losing day in 7 days. 8 days, maybe. I haven't had a losing day this week. I don't think I've had a losing trade this week. And so, like I said, people can say whatever they want. Haters tend to, you know, you can tell insecure people focus on putting down others. Secure people focus on themselves and doing stuff for themselves. And I think when people see other people doing stuff that they don't, that it makes them insecure. And so I think it's just human nature. And so, yeah, like I said, you don't see value in it, don't use it. If you don't like how I trade, don't get it. But, we just want to give that option for people. ACRX. On the platform besides Tef's website, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it takes a day to update anyways in their system. I think the best thing you could do is just go to your website and look the following day to see what your profit and loss was. MR. $285 on ACRX. Yeah, I'm guessing you got caught in this big drop here on 338. CALI truth feed. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just going to be a little too cheap for me, but I can look at it. 12.5 entry. I mean, this is kind of OTC. I can't mess with these too much. I don't even know what broker that lets me trade these. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, Mitch is sending me his data from this past week. I'm trying to pull it up here. Yeah, Mitch has had some pretty data these past few weeks, so if people want to question whether we're decent traders or not, you can see his stats. Last week, 357. Average daily gain is about 71.50. Daily volume, 1,520 shares on average. His average winning trade is $54.81. His average losing trade is smaller than that at $40.50. You can see his win-to-loss ratio is 80-20, so he's winning 80% of the time. And yeah, biggest gain is 107, twice as big as his biggest loss. And so, but yeah, we're terrible traders, guys. We don't know what we're talking about. Nice, Darren. Nice work, brother. Alright, guys. The only one I'm kind of looking at now is CAG. If you look at CAG, big fade back to the VWAP here. I want to see it hold realistically under this $36 level. If it breaks that, I'm worried it might turn into support. Let me see. Yeah, Wednesdays are typically slower, Darren. They're just slow days. But yeah, the only one I'm really looking at is CAG. Risk would be, if you get in around 36, risk would be 36.11 maybe 36.15, about 15 cent risk. You probably could set your profit target at 35.75. So 15 cent risk reward would be about 25 cents, maybe a little bit better than that, but I wouldn't try to shoot for too much than that. But a little bit worse than 2 to 1, but still positive risk to reward on CAG if you buy it right here or short it right there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right, exactly, George. George says that's how you know you're doing well. Those that like you will watch for a few minutes. Those that hate you will watch the whole stream. Yeah, Mitch and I actually talked about that yesterday. Is that, and it's something Gary Vee says, is that, haters, like the people that take the time to put negative comments on social media, you feel bad for them, man. You really do. You feel bad for them because it's like, if I think about it, I don't think I've ever posted a negative comment on social media to anybody. If I don't like what somebody's doing, I just don't watch them, but it's kind of like, I can use Conor McGregor as an example, right? Some people love Conor McGregor, some people hate him, but everybody watches him. Some people are watching him just to see if he's going to lose. And it's the same thing here. Like, people are watching Mitch and I hoping we lose. They want to see us lose because they're insecure, and so they want to see us lose because they want to say, I told you so, or whatever it is. And that's fine, as long as they're watching, I don't care, And like I said, Mitch and I's accuracy is pretty high. Our accuracy rate is high enough to where if they're watching us waiting for us to lose, most of the time they're going to be disappointed, Because, like I said, I haven't had a losing day this week. Mitch hasn't had a losing day in 8 days. And so people can hate, whatever, they can say whatever they want. But people understand the value that we're giving people for free on YouTube, like just us doing this stream every day, breaking down what we look for, why we're getting into the trades, we're giving that to people for free. Other people charge thousands of dollars for that. And other people aren't even trading live. Other people, a lot of these gurus and other people that are teaching, like they're just cherry picking their winning trades. They could have 3 losing trades and 1 winner. And they'll record their winner and they'll upload that for everybody to see. Say, look how much I made today. And a lot of times it's on a paper account as well. And so Mitch and I just try to put everything out there for free, 100%. No hiding anything, no cherry picking trades. We just try to be as transparent as we can, And so when you see us go on a win streak, when you see us have no losing trades during the week, we're actually doing that. We're not pretending to do that. And so I think haters are going to come. That's when you're doing something right, is when haters kind of come out. Yeah, right, exactly, Van. People will say, here's my real live day trades, and really it's a day trade that they did 3 hours ago that they're just now uploading. And like I said, it's super easy to fake that. Like, all you have to do, like I said, you could have 3 losing trades and 1 winning trade, and you're just going to record the winning trade, upload it, not showing people your actually profit and loss or your account balance, and you say, look what I did today. I made $1,000. And it's like, yeah, sure you did, bud. And that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're all doing it. I think most of them probably are. But, because I think if people actually started doing what Mitch and I do, which is stream everything live without being able to hide anything, I think it would hurt their brand, because people would see how good of traders they really are. Exactly. Insurance. Yeah, cool. McGregor fights are entertaining, brother. McGregor fights are fun to watch, man. I will say I kind of enjoyed seeing him get beat up on Saturday, though. I will say that I wouldn't say I was rooting for Habib, but I kind of knew Habib would take him. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100% cool. It is time for me to size up, man. Like if you look at my stats, I would be up huge if I sized up. And it's a process for sure. The big thing is that I understand fundamentals. Obviously, no losing days this week. And like I understand fundamentals. Like I haven't had, if you look at my gross profits, and this is the big thing, like if I go back and look at my gross profits from the last 2 months, I haven't had a week where I lost more days than I've won. Every single week, I at least won 3 out of 5 profitable days. And most of the time, I think in the last 2 weeks, it's averaging, or in the last 2 months, I'm averaging about 1.5 losing days a week. And so, not even 2 losing days a week is really what I'm averaging. And so, it is time to size up. Like I said, I think I'm kind of waiting to get a student account just so I have a little bit more room. And I think I'm ready for a student account, with $4,000 max loss instead of 700. I think I'm just ready. That's really what I'm looking forward to, and it'll happen in due time. Nice, Netron. Hey, good job, brother. But yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and close the stream down today. Like I said, I kind of called this one out as well. I was looking at CAG, and it faded really nicely. Like I said, if you got in at 36, set your profit target maybe at 335.80, maybe at 35.70. But regardless, I mean, it faded enough to take some profits. Really, it's bouncing off of this support here. Yeah, Ricky Gutierrez. Yeah, man. I mean, it seems like he's a good trader. I don't know, but it seems like he is. What I try to do, I don't try to talk bad about anybody. I don't ever, even though I talk about people cherry picking trades, it's just because that's super common. But I never mention names. I never mention anything like that. I'm not trying to put anybody down in trading. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's brand or hate on anybody. Just because I think when you hate on somebody, it kind of shows insecurity. And so I'm secure with my channel. I'm secure with everything. So I don't need to hate on anybody, really. Yeah, the big thing is that if you are going to sign up with somebody, just ask them for their actual profit and loss, or just ask them to show it to you live on stream. If they can't do that, they're hiding something. You know what I mean? But regardless, like I said, shout out to Trade Ideas for allowing me to stream their scans live. Really awesome scanning software. There's the link there if you're interested in signing up to Trade Ideas. Really customizable scanning software, regardless of what your niche is in the market. You can customize a scan to work it, and you can see, really cool scans showing me high of day breaks and stuff like that. So go check out Trade Ideas. I'm definitely appreciating them thus far and loving their scans. Also, like I said, anybody interested in signing up to TradeNet, I do have a link that gets you 20% off. We do make a small commission from it. But it's a good way to help support the channel if you're interested. Like I've always said, though, the biggest flaw with TEFs, which is TradeNet's partnering broker, is that some stocks are not tradable. Easily the most frustrating thing about them. If you watch Mitch and I trade, you can see that we usually find a way to get around it. But easily the biggest flaw, and so you do want to understand that before signing up and reach out to them with questions if you have any. But there's the link. If anybody If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We day trade live on stream every weekday morning starting at 8:40 market time. And we just try to show everybody everything. We show everybody all our winning trades, losing trades, go over what's moving in pre-market, all live right here on YouTube every weekday. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you want to do me a favor and overpower the haters, hit the like button right now in this video. It does help support us. We appreciate any support we can get. So click the like button right now. Yeah, have a good day, guys. I'll see you all later, and thanks for watching.